We are doing this on a Sunday.
We are. And was there crickets in that song there at the end?
There may have been. Oh, yeah, you guys suck. Crickets.
I'm just making sure to make sure it's not, crickets in my house.
They're just sitting there judging you.
Oh, man. Like James's glasses?
Like James's glasses every time. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Unlike James's glasses, we are going to do a show. So let's do this.
Ooh.
Distance nerding.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Sunday. It is a very, very rare occasion. We don't normally do this, but we're doing it. And it's for all of you out there. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now getting ready to watch the build. I am your boy, Young Phil. Of course, the Skeletor before the melting of the face.
He looked at the Ark of the Covenant. He didn't close his eyes.
Yeah, as he should have. And of course, immediately, if you're looking at the screen to my right here, the beard that has a man attached to it, ladies and gentlemen, it is Graveyard.
Yes. Besides, this is, 3 builds within 4 days.
It is. And I'm finishing Optimus Prime, and now I'm going to have to get ready to build another kit for next week, which actually I may have to get with the DeLongs because they are so they won the X-Jet.
Okay.
A while back in one of our giveaways.
Yeah.
And they want me to build it on the show, so I'm going to have to go and grab that and build the X-Men X-Jet.
Oh, man. I can't wait. You should get all the X-Men characters and make sure to get Cable and Cyclops flying away from him because he has the power to abandon his children.
To abandon his children. It's the best way to go, right? It's yeah, I'm just going to abandon my kids because my name is Scott Summers and I am a abandoner.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Best second mutation ever.
best secondary mutation in the history of any mutant power is the mutant ability to abandon your children.
Exactly.
Right, and it was and he inherited it too. I said they need to film something first, so I mean I have kits ready for me to build because I have to do a bunch of rebuilds. So I think I might be doing the question box again.
Oh,
the Mario question box, from Mario 64.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I might be doing that next. I just have to start separating the pieces, which takes forever on its own. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this show, everything we do here is brought to you by the good people over at the wonderful drink that we like to call Dubby. That's right. Dubby is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. Dubby contains no maltodextrin, no sugar, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Find out more about Dubby at www.dubby.gg. Use the code NERDING10. Get 10% off your order. trying something old, new again, just going with the shortened version of that. But guys, again, head over to w.gg, use the code nerding10, get 10% off the order. So let's jump into this. I'm excited about this, right? And for one reason only. And I'm gonna say it right here in this intro, right? Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest is a writer, voice actor, and the host to a massively glorious beard. That's where my excitement is, right?
We always need more beard on this.
More beard on Distance Nerding, right? It is glorious. I love Matt's beard, but I'm sorry. Our guest's beard is
Who do you love?
Graveyard.
I know. Friday threw you all out of whack.
It really did, because he kept saying your name. And I was like, we're not doing this, are we? It really did like throw me off. He's coming to us all the way from the great north and blessing us with their signature Canadian charm. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the build the one, the only, the talented Ian Fults.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
Hey, everybody. Hey, Dr. Nick.
Well, hey, everybody.
That's right. But thank you very much for the compliments on the beard. I have been growing this for 4 years and 2 months now.
And how many hours?
Don't know.
Oh,
I know the months and the years.
Okay.
So it's funny because when you look at Ian's headshot, there's no beard in there, and then you look at the beard he has now. It's like, that is absolutely beautiful.
Well, I think he said.
It's called a bearded surprise.
Yes.
That is what she said.
People are wanting me to trim this thing. I'm like, you know what? I'll just let this thing just go.
Yeah.
Just
It's like,
go.
no, I'm going full Gandalf. You guys can kiss my ass.
Exactly. All I need now is the hair. Oh, wait.
He wears a hat all the time anyway. It's
Exactly.
okay.
You can do what Kane does and just put a wig inside of the
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
So before we get into your story and everything that we're going to talk about here today, we have a couple of questions that we like to ask. So we have a segment on the show called Growing Up Geeky. What did you geek out on when you were a kid?
Star Wars.
Easy. Star Wars.
Star Wars. Like, seriously, I'll never forget. I was 7 years old when it first came out. And not only did I not see the movie, but I read everything about it. The comic books, the storybooks, everything. At 7 years old, I knew that Star Wars had a budget of $20 million.
Oh, wow.
I was all excited about that. Because it's just, I think that was the first time I ever experienced a movie that shared how it was made.
Right.
You know, and back then we didn't have the inner tubes. So we had to do it by book.
Books, you say? What are those?
Yes, I know. The Star Wars storybook. I mean, it's just, and from there it just blossomed. So from there I found out from Star Wars. I found out about Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, actual space show that I can watch on the regular basis, and that was during the 3-season reruns.
Right.
And then the movie came out. I'm like, whoa, what am I living in? And then of course there's Superman, because I'm a huge comic book geek. So we're reading comic books as kids, and Superman was my number one guy. And then the Superman movie comes out. Late 1970s was a good time to be alive.
Yeah, sounds like it. I wasn't, but I just
How
feel
are you missing out, sir? Mr. Matt? Good to see you, good sir.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I came in the late 80s, man. So it's like,
I'm sorry you children missed out on everything. It's just times. Truly.
Awesome. So, I mean, your Superman comics and stuff like that. Was there any other comics you kind of just nerd out besides Superman? Like
Shazam.
Shazam. Okay.
Well, because that's the ultimate children's wish fulfillment. Here you are, you're like a young kid, and you just call down a word, and boom, you got the strength and power of Superman. Like, come on. That's awesome. And of course, again, 70s, you had the Shazam ISIS Power Hour on the Saturday morning cartoon thingy. Like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing.
Back when cartoons weren't there to sell you toys, like our cartoons were in the 80s and 90s.
the only reason you watch cartoons is, what toy am I going to buy next?
Exactly.
1983, Sideswipe, Autobot, Lamborghini. Yeah.
I mean, we are hanging out with Optimus Prime right now.
Excellent.
Only-
Nice.
Only he's
Yeah,
made
Optimus.
This
Yeah.
is like the toy that combines
Stop.
all of your.
Shovel.
Yeah, this is the toy that combines all of your favorite things growing up: Lego and Optimus Prime, and he
Oh,
actually
yes.
does transform into a truck.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Exactly.
Love that movie. 86.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, my Transformer though was, the one I actually got to watch growing up was Beast Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Watch Beast Wars 2. Beast Wars was awesome, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was a Canadian production.
That's right. It was.
Canadian
No,
voice actors
It was so nice.
and Canadian CGI graphics done by the same company, Mainframe, that did the reboot series.
Yeah, and I watched Reboot too.
Loved Reboot.
Yes, we're very proud up here in Canada.
As well you should be. You make these great cartoons.
And voice actors, like the entire cast of the X-Men 90s cartoon series, it's all Canadian.
Yeah.
Which
and
makes sense.
if you're
Wolverine's
familiar, the actor who played the voice actor who played Beast in the cartoon was the truck driver in the very first X-Men movie that dropped off Rogue.
Yes. Oh yeah. Anything else you geeked out as a kid?
Oh. That's pretty much it, to be honest. Like, those are my focuses. Whenever I got depressed, I go rent 3 VHSs of Star Treks 1, 2, and 3, go to the basement, watch all 3, and just chill.
Awesome.
Watching a whole bunch of Trek.
Oh. I mean, there's the Star Trek or Star Wars. No. There's both.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
But why not Stargate?
Good question. I hated the movie.
Really?
I was not a fan of that movie. I was just like, you mean to tell me this entire movie is about a 6,000-year-old bully? Really? This is horrible. But and because of the movie, I wasn't gonna watch the series. And my friend of mine, a coworker, is like, no, you gotta watch it in sequence, in order, and I think you're gonna enjoy the series way more than the movie. Okay, he was right. The series was incredible compared to the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's interesting because that was my first tattoo, was the Stargate symbol, the chevron for Earth.
Right.
It's on my back, so in case I ever get abducted by aliens, they know where to return me.
Like, God, we don't want him. All right, hold on. We've got a map on his back. All right, cool.
All right, there. You just send him there.
Exactly.
Send him back.
All right, Ian. So, if a movie was made about you in your life, who would play you and why?
Oh, there's that TV series, The Chief.
Okay.
The main actor, I forget his name. He was also recently playing Lex Luthor in the Superman and Lois series in the final season. He would play me. I would get him to play me.
I don't know his name.
I don't know his name either. Might have to IMDb it.
I was like, is it something that is purely Canadian? Because
Oh no, it's an American show.
no,
It's an American show. Let's find out the actor. Let's go. Let's do the IMDb. We got these computer things. Why not we use them?
I'm saying the actor.
But he doesn't have to be Canadian. Yeah, that's. Let's see here.
Oh, it's not it.
Is it Lois?
No, that's the British version. Where's the American one? Oh goodness.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I lose.
I could almost see Jack Black playing you as well.
Oh yes, but I'm a lot thinner than he is. Seriously, he's got a bit of a belly on him.
It's all right. It's
And his beard,
acting.
I like how it just goes out. Mine kind of sometimes split in the middle. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. My beard would be out to the sides too if I didn't trim down, because I can get the best mutton chops ever. But awesome.
I-
I always say, Phil knows, and our chat knows too. I always say I just want a different person of different race and gender every decade of my life. I want Sylvester Stallone to play a 10-year-old me. And the next year I want get Zoe Saldana to play a 20-year-old me and just stuff like that. Just make it a good old farce of a movie.
Michael Cudlitz.
Hmm.
That's the name. That's the name of the
Michael
guy he's playing
Cudlitz.
Lex Luthor. And if you actually see a picture of him, he from his prison, he's kind of got the beard.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He was in The Walking Dead.
That's it.
Yes. Oh yeah. I can see that for sure.
I've always said Canadian treasure Ryan Reynolds would play me.
Yes. I can see that. Oh well, boy, looks like my cameras are screwed up.
Uh-oh. Damn you, internet!
It's Canadian internet.
Damn you, Canadian internet!
You know,
What's going on?
the exchange rate's a little bit different here.
Oh no, it got rid of my virtual background.
It did. I can see your wall.
It's so evil.
It's not as exciting.
No, which of course features the comic book that I'm here to talk about. Yeesh.
Exactly. Well, while you're working on that, so Ian, how did your love for writing come to be? Was it something you always had?
Well, when I was a kid, okay, I go back to that geek question you asked.
Mhm.
Superman. I love Superman. Love the movies, and I wanted to write. I created a little character called Super Worm because apparently what people didn't realize is that on Krypton had a moon, and on that moon was a population of intelligent worms. So when the Krypton planet went kablooey, the moon went with it. But then when they were trying to send their last son, it went into another dimension where Earth is populated by intelligent worms. So I published that in my local newspaper.
Yeah.
And it was lots of fun, like Lex Wormthor, Captain Fish, the Raven. That was kind of it taught me how to write and how to create stories, and I had lots of fun with it. And one of the best parts about it is that I discovered later on, like years later, that apparently I inspired other kids in the town to do the same thing, which is what it's all about, really. It's about just helping, inspiring others to go ahead. You can do this too, right? My drawings were horrible. The stories were basic, but I got to do it, and someone gave me that opportunity. It was wonderful, and I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah, I can only see in your Superworm that Robin would be a giant Robin and a villain in that story.
Yes, Raven. That was one of the villains was the Raven.
Quoth the Raven.
Yes.
Or
Yeah. So how did you get into then writing, comics now and getting the kind of the base work of the Mountain Chronicles?
Well, I've always been trying to. My art teacher tried to. Ian, forget about Superman. We thought making a human superhero character, and I created a character called Laserman, and I had lots of fun with that. And I developed that story over time. But you know what? Everybody has created a Laserman out there, so it's not really original. I still have fun with it, so I wanted to come up with something original. So I was playing a video game called City of Heroes that came out in 2004. And they shut it down in 2013, but today you can still play it on as a private server. They got permission to play to put it out there, called City of Heroes Homecoming. It's a pretty good show. They're doing an amazing job on that thing. But the key to that, what inspired me, was the fact that you can make all kinds of costumes, and the players have their own internal costume contest, where when you line up all of your characters, and they get to choose which one they liked. And this one design that I made with this elven girl with a camouflage suit and bow and arrow and all that stuff, it won a contest. I'm like, whoa, okay, maybe there's something here. So then over time, developing a story, it's not something that's instantaneous. It takes years. You have lots of ideas. You have to write them down. You have to plot it out. You have to figure things out. You have to introduce new characters. And over time, you go and have a shower. Oh, wait, there's an idea. And you come back out of the shower and you write it down.
Yeah. So how long has the Mana Chronicles then kind of been in the works then?
Well, it's been essentially in the works for almost 19 years now. But we just only started getting publishing, like putting stuff out there over the last 10 years.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
with the work with my artists, I've been able to expand it into merch. Learning about Shopify, print on demand, taking the art, applying it through various companies that have different products, and it's just been an amazing experience. I think, Matt, you possess one of our fine editions.
I do, and I absolutely love it. I did wear it when I had to go into the office for work last week. I did wear it as my polo shirt, essentially. To go into the office. I got weird looks, but it's okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's not a plain shirt.
Where's that dark image upon that church? Oh, yes. Oh, this is the Lich. Very evil
Exactly.
character. And so, over time, you learn how to collaborate with other people, because it's not the Mana Chronicles isn't no longer just me. It's everyone else that's been involved in it has brought things to the table to allow to expand the story. And it's just, I don't do drugs. I do art and storytelling, and that gives me such an incredible high.
What's the difference?
Both cost lots of money to make.
One of them, your brain gives you all the happy. The other one's external sources give you the happy, which can be a little dangerous.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about your inspirations. I know going into the fantasy world, you talked about City of Heroes, obviously Superman, but you went really high fantasy, and even setting, this in New York City, which is obviously not Canadian.
No. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest, got to be blunt, right? Oh, why set it up in Canada where nobody else cares about it? So, for example, are you familiar with Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right. Set in Canada.
Right.
Americans didn't go and see that movie.
That movie's amazing, and anybody
Great movie.
Based
on a comic book, Canadian comic book.
It is in Toronto. I get that.
Unapologetically Canadian. The problem is that's not where the market is.
Right.
The market is American, but I could be a little tricky and throw some Canadian stuff in there. So, for example, in the first issue, you're introduced to a character called Sandra Wanamaker, who's actually a Canadian actress living in New York. Right? And then, and I've thrown a couple of jokes where the Elven girl is trying to first speak English, and she sounds like she has an accent, and the guys are like, "What are you from Canada or something?" That kind of stuff, right?
I love it. I love it.
I know. We got this accent there, boot.
Yeah, which is not that far off from the Minnesotan.
That's right. And North Dakota.
Yeah.
North Dakota.
Yeah. Yeah. We say that, we talk about the, because living in Chicago here, as Wisconsin and Minnesota, they definitely have that. You can see that transformation of the accent from American Midwest into Canadian. It's just a little bit more north each time.
Yeah. Like, for example, there's a town called Fort Francis, Ontario, which is literally on the border between U.S. and Canada with International Falls, the city. And they speak the same language. They speak the same accent. It's amazing.
Yeah. But I love it. And, I love your nods to Canada there while still set in New York. Now, obviously, we talked about this before, but I want to get have Phil here in the chat here too. How much research do you have to do about New York City to start incorporating it into your comics then?
Right.
Oh, that's a great thing about today is I can just easily research it all online. Okay, so here's Central Park. Here's some buildings. Okay, so have the character go from here to here, and then they run into these people, and so on and so forth. And it just kind of with the internet today, it's a lot easier to research and put stories together as accurate as possible, but be vague enough so that people don't you're not copywriting anything, right?
Right.
So with the Mana Chronicles, we're doing that classic fish out of water story, but instead of someone from Earth going to a fantasy world, it's someone from a fantasy world coming to Earth.
So essentially, it's Masters of the 1987 Masters of the Universe movie.
Only not so lame.
Right.
That movie's so bad, it's good. Come on.
because the Earth is I love Dolph Lundgren as He-Man, and
It's
it's just they try to make Earth too much of the focus for a movie that was primarily like for an IP that's primarily based on another planet.
yeah, we
That's the
should have.
problem, is that we already had this world, this universe set somewhere else, and then they said,
Mhm.
okay, we'll just make it primarily on Earth for budgetary reasons.
Yeah, because we needed way more Eternia in that movie. Like,
Absolutely.
we didn't have Eternia at all.
And from what I'm hearing so far in the rumor mill, where they're trying to make this new He-Man movie, if they don't make it focus on Eternia, it's not gonna work.
Mhm.
Well, I know a lot of what they're trying to do, and I know Kevin Smith did this with his with his He-Man run on Netflix.
Right.
Trying to canonize a lot of the stuff that's in the original movie. And I know
Right.
like Kevin Smith did a lot of nods, like he reintroduced characters from the movie and stuff
Yep.
like that, and kind of made references to the old movie. And
Right.
because his show is a direct follow-up to the original show that canonized everything,
Right.
you know, but it's at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's one thing to try and canonize making it that, but I mean, like, what we as fans want of a Masters of the Universe movie is like that entire, like, I would love to see kind of like a more adult take on Adam becoming man.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you saw that in the 2003 animated series,
Yes.
right? But it
Yeah.
didn't sell toys, so they canceled it. 2 seasons
Yeah.
canceled because it didn't sell the toys.
Right, because you get the whole relationship between Skeletor and He-Man and Skeletor's his uncle and all this other stuff. Like that was amazing storytelling, and it's like we
Yes.
want more of that. Fans want more of that.
Exactly. So with my thinking was, I'll have it introduce one character from this fantasy world come into our world, and she sees our world through her eyes, and through her we learn about her world and the troubles that they're going through, right? But it's not just like this whole back and forth thing.
Mhm.
But of course, the MacGuffin in this whole series is this thing called mana, and the way I see it, I spell it biblically, MANNA, and that is Hebrew for what is it.
Okay.
I'm using that as like the linchpin of the whole series. This elven girl is trying to find mana. She discovers that Earth is just covered in it, as opposed to her world, which doesn't have as much anymore, and they need to use it in order to power their weapons and their clothing and their entire civilization. So she's discovered a way to tap into the mana in our world to get it back to her world to help fight a 1,000-year war against the Dark Mage and his evil minions.
Right. Yeah, and that I like that. I guess as you point out, you're absolutely right. You know, her coming from that world coming to Earth is such an untold side of things for the most part.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Beast Wars, where they come to Earth and there's just I can't think of it.
They're in a prehistoric time, but
right,
then
but
you
there's
discover
so much,
later on that they showed up before
right,
the original, like the original Optimus Prime that we're familiar with.
right, and there's so
that
much
scene where they're actually in the Ark was just like, whoa, this is so cool.
Yeah, and there's so much energon on Earth, it overloads their system. That's why they have to be in Beast World, which energon is scarce on their planet.
Exactly. So again, that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm throwing nods to Lord of the Rings. That tiny little idea about the Transformers, about energy, calling it mana. I even have a lightsaber, which is the flaming sword that my main character Aristar uses. It's a broken sword, but when she magically ignites it, it looks like a flaming sword. But that's my homage to a lightsaber.
Right.
So
yeah,
you take influences throughout your life and you put it together.
Now, how many, without giving anything away, how many issues do you have planned out so far for the Mana Chronicles?
We're planning on to do 8. I originally was going to try to do 72. Oh, I can publish once a month. No, financially I can't do it, and from what I've discovered working with artists, life gets in the way a lot of times. So you end up having to postpone things. We've got our second issue ready to go. My wife's got her 2 issues that she's been working on. We got her first issue done of a series called Tales of Mytharel, and she's just got the second issue we're finishing up right now. Gonna send that out for editing soon, and we're gonna have we'll have 4 published issues later this year, which is just totally fantastic. But I'm planning to do for the Mana Chronicles 18. Hold on one second. How many issues are you planning on doing for Tales of Mytharel, dear?
That's an ongoing story.
Okay, so it's an ongoing. She has no set issues at the moment, but I have 18. They'll be divided into 3 arcs, 6 issues are 1 arc, and then another set of 6 issues for a second arc, and a third arc of the final 6 issues. And if it goes well, and there's hopefully can be more story later on, but as of right now, I got an idea for 18 issues to tell a complete story.
Awesome. It sounds like your wife's planning for 1,000 issues.
Yes.
Now, with
new X-Men run, so about 1,000 issues here.
Well, the thing about with Tales of Mytharel is it initially focuses on 2 characters, but it's not about these 2 characters as a whole. It's about an entire world. So there's other characters eventually that she's going to introduce to the reader that will then expand the story and expand the world and what have you.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now, do you have anything else that you're currently working on? Like I said, without spoiling anything, of an issue or series after the Mana Chronicles, like another run?
Oh no, because I would love to work on a kids show that I've created called Zug the Friendly Orc. It's an anti-bullying kids show. I would love to turn that into a comic book right now too, because now I have the know-how and the capability to do it. I just don't have the time. Just even trying to do these 18 issues at this rate could take me like 9 years to get those done.
Yeah, I know we talked about the orc before. You had pitched it to Netflix, I believe, right?
Oh yeah. That's another thing too. I'm trying to get the story out. I'm at least doing that through the comic book, but the main goal is to get this thing out into the eyes of those who are like, hey, you know what? That'd make a really cool cartoon series. Oh, wait, no, this would make an amazing movie series. Whatever. You want to get the IP out there, but I'm not Marvel. I'm not DC. I don't have those kinds of deals, right? The art we've put together, I think, stands toe-to-toe with those guys. In some ways, I think we're better. In other ways, I think we can learn more. But that's the end goal. I could just imagine what it'd be like sitting in the movie theater watching a movie that came out of your brain and watching it with a huge audience and they're enjoying it. Like the high from that would be, I might have to go to the hospital for overdosing.
I was just saying, chat, just so you guys know, that's 9 years Canadian, which is the equivalent.
Time goes a little slower up here in the Great White North.
Especially like the closer you get to Alaska, time is just slower.
Yeah, just a little slower.
Exactly. Yeah, I know we talked, it kind of why I talk about you too. Yeah, I could see this even the Mana Chronicles even being nothing else like a motion comic as well.
Yeah, again, that takes time to produce, and I got as a voice actor, I'm pretty anal about the voices, so I just haven't found the right voices to play the characters yet.
You're a voice actor. You do all of them.
I got a lot of women in this thing, and no. I don't do women characters. That's another thing as a voice actor, you learn about you think you could do it all? No, you can't. But the great thing is you have an ear for those that can do it. And so I've got a great collaborative group that I work with in voiceover. And yeah, someday we'll get together and hopefully hammer something out. But in the meantime, you're just going to have to put my focus more onto the book and get the story out there.
You do the Dr. Girlfriend thing, right? Like, you play the hot chick, but then the hot chick just sounds like an old Jewish woman.
Exactly.
And packs
exactly.
Right?
Dennis, there's some lovely filth down here. Oh, how would you do? How do you do, good lady?
Exactly.
My name is Aristar.
I'm an elf from another world. And that doesn't sound like anything. And because
Exactly.
here's the thing, I have speaking of Aristar, in terms of voice, I have an idea. You know how the young ladies sounded in the 1940s? They kind of had that Eastern, Northeastern American accent that's very refined.
Mhm.
That is called the transatlantic.
There we go, the transatlantic accent. I was wanting her to sound like that because she learns English by watching old movies like Casablanca.
Ooh. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, it's just I haven't been able to find a person that could do that type of accent yet. So
And I know there are a lot of actresses that can do that like have trained with the
oh,
transatlantic.
absolutely.
Usually want to find people who have worked on stage because they still use it on stage to this day.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There you go. There's an idea.
Yeah. I like it.
I like it.
Like I said, I can definitely see her with that accent too.
Yeah.
Huh. For some reason, originally in my head, I almost had like a Kate Blanchett, Galadriel voice in my head.
Well, Kate Blanchett is the ultimate elf.
Exactly.
You know, it's amazing how she goes from this beautiful, ethereal, blonde elf to Thor's crazy sister.
Mm-hmm. AKA Loki's daughter.
Yes.
I mean, if you're going with the real myths, yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, also in the comics. That's his daughter in the comics too. They just changed it for the movie for some reason.
Yeah, that was the one thing that's just those little tweaks that they make in the Marvel cinematic universe. You understand why they do it, but at the same time, it's like, come on, guys. But then they got a great actress to play her anyway, so I didn't care. I was like, yep, thumbs up, I'm in.
That's awesome. It's just you haven't been able to read these comics from you, and talking to you now for many months. I just love to see what you're working on and continue to grow. And you've been going to a couple of cons. Can you tell us a little bit what that's been like for you with the?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. We were planning to go to a couple of cons. We haven't gone to any, and we're supposed to go to one in February of this year, the Fan Expo. That's been an interesting learning experience. So the Fan Expo here in Vancouver, you apply, and for the last couple of years, I've been trying to get in there, but I always seem to apply too late, and then no, you're on the waiting list. So last year they said, oh well, hey, sorry, you couldn't make it onto the waiting. You didn't get onto the show because of the waiting list. I'm like, hey, just let me know when you guys are open up so I can actually, get my my application in. Oh yeah, we're open now. So I get in there in March of 2024. I drop the deposit of $500, and then I wait. And like November of last year, I'm like, I haven't heard anything. So I'm like, okay, when do I pay the rest of this? Because the convention's coming up like next month in February. I'm like, oh no, you're not approved yet. When you're approved, we'll let you know. And if you're not approved, we'll be sending you your deposit back. I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. They tell me though they're gonna let me know sometime near the end of November. All right, cool. Nothing happens. First week of December, I suddenly get my deposit back. No email, no nothing. Just my deposit back. And I messaged them. Am I at least on the waiting list? Is there a reason why I was denied? Can you communicate with me? Nothing. No response, no reply. Even though we had a chain of communication going back and forth, I sent my final question out. Nothing. I was in shock. So luckily, there's a friend of mine here in Vancouver. She found out about another convention that's coming up in August. It's just a one-day event. So we're hoping to get into there. We applied. We got in early. We requested our table. And they said, yeah, we'll get back to you in July when they have all the applications come in.
Have you thought about doing any shows in the U.S.?
It's difficult. It's very difficult to do a show in the U.S. because I'm Canadian. Right. And we have to apply for a whole bunch of stuff to get in to bring our stuff down there.
Okay.
Because you go across the border, the Americans are like, so what are you coming down here for? Oh, we're going for a vacation. Reality, you're going to a show. You never get allowed back in the States again if that happens. So
Interesting. Yeah, because Phil, I was thinking some of the shows that you guys are going to up
Right,
north of here.
especially the show that we're doing up close to Seattle.
ECC.
No, we're doing a show called Tri-Cities Powerhouse.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's because we know the promoter, so I mean, like, we could always, like, you know, basically, if you were to apply there, you could say, hey, yeah, no, you know, we know the guys over at Distance Nerding, and a lot of times they'll kind of like hook you up.
When is that?
Tri-Cities. Let me open up my calendar.
Sandra
Here.
says that's in August.
Is that in August?
That's what Sandra just said in chat.
God, is it that far away? I thought it was sooner than that.
Ah,
I don't know. That's your guys' West Coast stuff.
yes, that's West Coast people. Yeah, the one we've applied for that we'll find out about in July is August 24th.
Oh yeah, this one's August 16th and 17th.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can't make that happen if we're able to get Ian out there.
Send me the link to it. I'll see if I can apply. I could try to apply on my end, and we'll see what goes from there.
Yeah, because we're also doing shows. The earliest one with that promoter is in April, and that's for Gem State Comic Con, which is in Boise, Idaho.
Oh no, that's too much of a drive for me.
Yeah, it's a 8.5 hour drive for us. So I mean, like,
Seattle is 2 hours. Yay!
That's not bad.
And
again,
then
trying to get across the border with all of our stuff.
Yeah,
Don't know. So I'll have to look into that.
There's 3 Oregon shows that we do, one in Bend and 2 of them in Medford, Oregon, which is probably going to be more around like an 8-hour drive for you.
Oh wow!
So I want to say
that's
drive from Seattle,
and trying to get time off too. That's another factor.
Yeah.
Let's try.
Seattle could be doable, but we'll have to see. Well, send me the link and we'll do the application and cross fingers.
Yeah. I'm going to be driving 6 hours east next weekend. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we were invited to the Akron Nomicon.
Nice,
but it's a 1-day event. But it's like other side of Ohio for me, so it's like 2 states over.
Yeah,
like,
and we got it's all well and good. Voice acting is on the side. This publishing thing is on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all have work to do, right? 95% of everybody that's trying to be in some form of entertainment, be it voiceover, acting, publishing, whatever, 95% are not full-time. They have other gigs. Are you guys familiar with Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
Okay. He has this great lecture that he did in Toronto. And I keep, regardless of what you think of him politically or whatever, there's this amazing lecture he did. It's called The Curse of the Creative.
Okay.
And he basically says if you're creative, don't think of it as a good thing. Because it's a curse. If you don't create, you're going to die inside. And people think, oh, you're creative, you're going to make all this money. No. You have a better chance of winning the lottery than being successful at something creative. So go and get a job or something that will give you the funds to do your creative thing, to give you the time to do your creative thing.
Yeah. But talking to you and you work with your wife. Sounds like you actually have blessings to do these creative things. Some of us don't get our blessings from our significant others to go make a horror movie 3 states away in the middle of the night.
Exactly. You're collaborating with people all over the place, right? Like I'm collaborating with people in Montana, India, my wife.
Who's right there.
Right there.
He's just like, who is the greatest collaborator I've ever worked with? She's amazing.
That's right.
So kind of the note, talking about that, how did you get, and find your artist for this? You said you had, maybe drawing's not your strongest suit. So how did you find artists to help make this dream possible?
Well, again, it's all about connections, right? It's all about meeting up with people. I worked, when I was living in Victoria, British Columbia, I promised a friend of mine when I moved from London, Ontario, hey, you know what? When I have vacation, I'll come down to London. I'll take care of your comic book store so you can go and have a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And through that comic book store, I met people. You meet people. And this one young lady says, oh, you're doing that Zug the Friendly Orc thing. I have a friend of mine who does art. And I looked at the art and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to be appropriate for a kid's show. So, because the guy's amazing.
Uh-huh.
The guy's amazing. So that was a seed planted, right?
Mhm.
And when we were at the only reason why I even started working on taking my story and turning it into a comic book, because I wanted it to be an animated series, is because I was pitching to a company called Thunderbird Productions in Banff, Alberta in 2015. And she suggested, why don't you make it into a comic book? And then that clicked in my mind. I talked to this gentleman named Antoine Sandoval, who's a very good artist in Montana. That was from my friend. She's the one that said, hey, you should talk to this guy. Well, I thought, you know what? The Mana Chronicles would be perfect for his art style.
Mhm.
So we discussed it, came up with pricing, sent him the stuff, sent him the script. He worked on it. Now, we learned a lot in that process. I learned things I need to do on my end to help him, and timing wise, certain things happened in our personal lives that kind of slowed us down, or we were able to speed things up. One time I was even able to get a possible investor in the comic book, but we didn't make the deadline that he set for us. So
yeah, it's we talked a lot of comic book creatives on this, and it's just amazing that the process is people think it's so quick and easy and fast, and it's really not.
It's not at all.
It's not at all, because it's all been about his inspiration. Like, you could write like 3 pages one day and be like, wow, that was amazing, and the next day you're like, what do I do next?
Right.
And same with an artist. As artists, they don't do this 9 to 5. There are people that do, right?
Mhm.
Those who work for Marvel and DC, they've learned to train themselves to do this 9 to 5. But if you really want good creative flow, you can't force it.
Right. Yeah. And it's interesting. So, I mean, have you found it just kind of like a hurdle with like going back and forth, like maybe having to create like vision boards for them, or do you have to like change your writing when you give them the draft to help them visualize the scene you're trying to set?
Well, I'm going to be honest. It's where AI comes in.
Okay.
So I don't use AI art in my stuff. What I do
Mhm.
use is AI art to create concepts to send off to the artists. This is what I'm thinking. Boink. Emulate that to some degree, right?
Right.
Here's an idea, right? And it's been great. Sometimes, the great thing about Antoine is I would do a horrible doodle and he turns it into a masterpiece. It's incredible.
The good thing about good artists is they can do stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it's fun to work that way when there's no pressure. That's the key. You can't put the pressure on yourself, and you can't put the pressure on them. Otherwise, you're going to get crap.
Right. Working with that, has there ever been just points where you go, you know what, I don't like this here, and like what's your process then for them? Like,
well, for example, there's this company I worked with on the second issue named BZ Studios. They did a sampler page for me at first. I'm like, you know what? This is great. This is exactly what I'm looking for. It's not Antoine's style, but you're emulating it as close as possible. So that was pretty good. Then all of a sudden, the next page I get from him, the one character looks like a boy, and I'm like, dude, what's going on here? You did this one page, and now the character looks completely different. Like, what are you doing? And so, and then I found out that he was basically getting other artists to work on it. And I'm like, no. Get me one focused artist. Otherwise, we're done. Because I don't want every page being done by a different artist.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Huh. I like your take of doing the AI to essentially storyboard it for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of the way that for art at least, is the only way you really should be using AI for art, is just to help. I can't draw worth crap. When I talk
Exactly.
to artists, I go, hey, this is kind of what I'm looking for, or like, hey, we're making posters for a horror movie. I'm like, okay, here's what AI thinks would be interesting. I kind of take elements of what I want and then give to people to create the posters and stuff.
Exactly. In the
The
end, you want to make sure you're using real artists to do the job,
Mhm.
but AI is a great assistant in that.
Right.
the film that we filmed yesterday, a lot of the concept art was done in AI, and again, that was all concept art, just so that way, like when you see the character like fleshed out, like the actor in the costume and everything, like he looks amazing, right? But like the concept for the costume was what was given to the wardrobe department, and they made that costume, and it doesn't look like the one from the AI, but it's obviously inspired by the one that the AI created, and it looks
Mhm.
amazing.
And again, it's a great guide. It helps you. It helps
Right.
to communicate your ideas.
Mhm. And I like that. I'm working with a guy I'm going to be seeing next weekend for a cryptid costume I want to work on for my movie. And it's trying to figure out, like, okay, what do I want the face to look like? That's the hardest part. You want it to
Right.
be like type part owl, part bony, but you have to give them something to work off of, right? And so I was kind of Googling it, and I figured out I did some AI concept to help try to steer it in that right direction.
Yeah, and the great thing is you don't want to use AI as real stuff because they can't seem to draw hands
At all.
Well,
at all.
are you saying that Rob Liefeld was AI because he couldn't draw feet?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm beginning to think.
Pretty sure
Just
Rob Liefeld
feet.
is AI.
I had to point that out to so many people. You don't understand the joke with the just feet. You don't get it. Lee Fields, just feet. I mean, that shows you why we love Ryan Reynolds so much, because he gets it, right? He
Mhm.
understands.
What was the joke in the second movie? He goes, that power is not cinematic. That sounds like somebody. Whoever created that can't draw feet.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah,
I mean, and that's the kind of stuff that I want to be able to do. Like, it'd be so amazing if Nana Chronicles became so famous that South Park destroyed it.
Yes.
there you go. Yeah.
I would be, oh, isn't that offensive? No. It's the greatest compliment ever. They noticed
is.
me.
Exactly. I said, and and what I really like about your Mana Chronicles too, and Phil knows it as well, is that your ads in the comic too are all made up, right?
I love it.
It's all 80s inspired ads that you have in it. Do you just have a list of stuff you want to put into it as ads, or you just kind of go creative with your artist while doing it?
Yeah. Like, I have a friend of mine, she's a animator. She does anime style animation. And
Mhm.
so I said to her, hey, can you turn my characters into what they would look like if they were to be animated? So I put that as an insert inside in the comic book, like the Mana Chronicles, the animated series, and you can see what they look like as if they were going to be animated.
I noticed that immediately. I was like, these are like the old D&D ads in like the 90s comic books. This is so amazing. I love this.
Yeah. Full
Yeah.
one pagers.
Exactly. You do your homework on it. That's very clear with what you guys are doing over there. I love it.
And that's all part of the fun too, right?
Right.
Putting it all together. Heck, my wife and I just learned how to make QR codes ourselves instead of having to use some other company. So we were thinking, okay, we got these QR codes so that people can just scan them and find the shirt or whatever. So she's going around, she's looking for a site that'll do it.
Yes.
And she finds a site, and it's like, oh, great, cool. What she didn't realize in the fine print was that this QR code only lasts 14 days until you pay the $7 a month.
Interesting. Because was that what happened? Because you had given me a QR code.
So yes, I gave you a QR code that still works, because
Awesome.
she got frustrated with that. She's like, oh, Why? Because they actually shut off the QR code after the 14 days.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm like, how in the world do they do this? But whatever.
Huh.
So my wife was really frustrated. So she does research online, and she discovers that you can make QR codes in Adobe InDesign, which we pay for
Right.
every year. Awesome. So she went nuts. She went to town, made a whole bunch of QR codes for all of the products, for the main site, for this, for that, for the other thing. If anybody needs a QR code, let us know. We'll get it to you.
Exactly. I love it. Yeah, like I said, we use QR codes too, just for our shows and stuff like that too. I love it. It's the best thing ever. Just have a QR code instead of having, an entire page worth of information you'd have to hand out to people.
Yeah, and we're putting it all on all our merch now too, and it
Mhm.
works. I even got it printed off of magnets to throw on the car. It was awesome. People are like, "Oh, what's this?" Well, just take a picture of that QR code.
And then we see Ian just going to parking lots of Targets and just starts throwing them out every.
And we thought we were going to get into the fan expo, so we made all these flyers, and we've been handing them out up until November, and then we're like, what? We didn't get in? What the hell? So now we're waiting. We're going to wait to find out if we get into this other one in August. Then we'll start making the promotional work, hoping to get a hold of us before July 1st, because the more time to make the promotional material, the better.
Yeah, you want time to do that. That absolutely makes sense.
That's right. And you don't want to waste your time and we make all this promotional stuff and then we sold out on all the tables. Huh?
Yeah. I hope you get into it. I hope we can work something out and be able to get into that Seattle one as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, it's about that time to get in some of these wrap-up questions.
Oh, okay. Let's jump into the wrap-up questions here. Trying to figure out Optimus right now too.
He's a robot. He's in disguise. I don't know if you knew that.
So yes, let's jump into these wrap-up questions here. Let me get over to my screen here.
I love the fact that you're putting something together while we're talking. This is awesome.
That's actually like the whole premise of the show is that I'm like building Lego while we're doing an interview here. So I'm going to ask you some of the hardest questions you've ever been asked in your life. Are you ready for this?
No, I'm not, because I don't like getting answers wrong. I get all anxious and all right, just do it. Get it over with, man. Pull that Band-Aid.
The good thing is everything is subjective, so you'll be okay.
Okay. All
right. So let's get this going here. What is your favorite kind of taco?
Ooh. Okay. All right.
Not that it's hard, but it's not
okay.
That hard.
It's like Star Wars and Star Trek. There's the soft taco and the hard taco.
Right.
I love them both for different reasons. The soft taco for the convenience of just being able to get in there and just go to town. The hard taco, on the other hand, it's great because you put a soft taco shell on a plate below you as you're eating the hard taco. All the hard taco stuff falls onto the soft taco, and then you roll it up and you got another taco.
I like it.
He gets it. He understands.
He does.
The taco. Taco is king.
Taco is king.
Yes.
100%. All right. I have transformed Optimus into a truck.
Uh-oh.
And then
Is he a working truck?
He is.
You can see he's a truck now.
Yes, he is definitely a truck.
It's kind of cool.
Flat-faced truck. Love it.
Right. It's kind of cool that like it actually transforms from a big rig into like a full-size Optimus Prime. So like, and again, completely made out of Lego. I wish it actually made the sound. That'd be so cool.
Yes.
I'm sure someone has made a kit for it to let you do that.
Actually, yeah. Lego's pretty notorious for stuff like that.
I can't believe it's the Lego. I seriously can't believe it. That's impressive.
Back in my day, Legos came in a box with colors. You had to use your imagination.
That's right.
All right. So then body comes up, arms fold out. This becomes his chest.
Up comes the head. I can't do a good Optimus voice, but man,
I
it's just
am Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots.
Autobots transform and roll out.
Autobots, roll out.
Woohoo! By the way, I'm all about Decepticons. All hail Megatron.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, Megatron.
You know what, Lego?
16 years old. Diecast, Megatron, Luger. Christmas.
Nice.
I got so teased by my peers because I'm 16 years old, still getting Transformers.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And then my good friend of mine, Lori, she interrupts me. Hey, I still collect Barbies.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
You know what they really need to do? If they were really smart, they may already have it. A Lego Zord from Power Rangers.
They had one.
They had one?
They had
No
one.
way.
Now it's Optimus. Right.
Awesome.
And the other cool thing, again, because you turn it into an action figure, there's a full jetpack.
Uh-huh.
So you can give him the jetpack and put the jetpack on his back.
Wow.
It has the axe.
The axe.
So like actually you take off the hand right here.
And you put on the axe.
Right. It folds down and you put the axe on here.
Wow.
Apparently, hey guys, after this DeLong Fam cosplay, we'll be going live.
Yes. So I was actually going to mention that. After we're done here, guys, make your way over to the Long Family Cosplay. They're going to be working on a couple of cosplays and different things on there. It's always fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Funny thing, I have a friend of mine in Dryden, Ontario, who's going to be putting together an Aerie Star cosplay.
Oh,
So,
nice.
very
Ooh.
excited for that.
Energon Cube. So we were talking about Energon earlier,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Energon Cube. And then the coolest part, if you open up his chest,
No.
Matrix of Leadership sitting
No.
right in his chest. I
Wow.
love the amount of Easter eggs that this thing has.
Wow, I'm blown away, sir.
This
must have cost a lot of money.
It did not. It did not.
What?
It was
Really?
$150.
It wasn't 300.
No, for a Lego kit, $150 is not bad.
No, I was gonna say. I thought this was gonna be like 300.
Yeah.
And they
US.
just came out with and they just came out with the Bumblebee kit.
That'd be $420 Canadian.
420 Canadian. But yes, let's go back here. We're gonna go back into these backup
Wrap up. Yes.
wrap up questions here.
Oh yes, I only answered one. Yes.
Yeah,
Damn, I distracted him enough.
We got distracted with Optimus Prime here. What's some advice that you might have for anybody trying to get into the industry, whether it be voice acting or creating comic books, things like that? Like, what's some advice that you would give somebody that you wish you had?
For comic books, pretty simple. Get a good collaborative team together, because you can't do it yourself.
Mhm.
You can't. Work on getting the money yourself to tell your story. Because guess what? I thought I had to get like Image or DC or IDW or whoever to help me publish this thing. You can do it yourself. It's doable. Just save the money and you can pay for all the art. You can pay for all the publishing. You can set up a website. I'm only paying, like, think about that this day. I'm paying $60 a month to have a website that has access to all kinds of products for $60 a month.
Right.
Mhm.
Never could do that you never even thought of doing that 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's very accessible to get out there. Now, the problem is, yes, it's easy to get it all done and everything else. If you really want to get your name out there, you got to learn marketing. And I'm going to be honest, I suck at it.
Yeah, same.
I suck at it. But I'm so grateful to shows like this to help me get the word out about the Mana Chronicles. And like the art behind me is some of the greatest things that Antoine ever did. The one you can barely see in the middle because my big fat beard is in the way. That's the very first piece of art that Antoine ever did for me, and it's the very first piece of art that my friend Tiffany colored for me. And and I paid for all of it. And I'm to this day, I'm just so proud to wear it. So in that
Mhm.
sense, you can do it. If you can imagine it today in the 21st century, 2025, one quarter of the way through the 21st century, you can do it. If you can think it, you can do it. But get a team.
Yeah.
You can't do it by yourself. Second, voiceover training.
Yeah.
I am very good at voiceover. I have been given greatest compliments. I've been in commercials. I've been in Japanese anime. I'm gonna pat my own back. It's been a God-given gift. I've been doing it since I was 10 years old. But then I took one training session with my voiceover coach, one hour training session, and I realized how many mistakes I had made.
Right.
I learned so much in that first hour. I was like, whoa, okay, I guess I gotta rethink this. Yeah, you're good, Ian, but you don't have the skills to put it together cohesively. So thanks to her, Deb Monroe, I was able to get a solid foundation of voiceover matched with my talent.
Right. And kids, remember, like we talk about this all the time. We do talk to a lot of voice actors and people who are in the coaching realm and everything like that. Remember, kids, as anybody always says, anybody in the acting industry will always say, focus on your acting. Anybody can do a funny voice.
Yes.
All right. Anybody can go and do a voice, and you change the pitch of your voice and do hey guys, how's it going? Like anybody can do that. The thing is can you act?
Yes. Bingo.
Yeah. And that's like,
BINGO.
right. Always focus on your acting. Again, I always go back to Rob Paulson because Rob, was gracious enough to give us the advice that he gave us. But Rob's big thing that he has always pushed is small V, big A. Right. The voice doesn't matter as much. Focus on your acting.
And one of the keys to that, and then I can elaborate on that a little bit, is you got to be able to sound like you're not reading.
Yeah, it has to be natural.
It has to be natural, and but you can do it in all kinds of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It doesn't have to be one set way. You can read the same sentence 10 different ways and make it sound like you're not reading and emote different emotions and feelings. Because guess what? When you're doing voiceover, that's your only tool to get those messages across.
Right.
So, Matt, have you watched any of the episodes of Blackjack on Amazon?
I have not.
Okay. So, on any you Americans out there, Amazon Prime, Japanese anime titled Blackjack. They have like 52 episodes of the 80 episodes we did on there.
Mm-hmm.
My proudest moment is episode 35.
Okay.
I play a short, stocky loudmouth. Not much of a stretch. But the character was wonderful. He was the main character of the episode. And there was one scene in which he's bawling his eyes out to try to get this guy to help him out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very emotional scene. And I did the whole method acting thing where you conjure up something that makes you cry.
Yeah.
So I conjured up my friend Susan, who had passed away years earlier of breast cancer, and that just hit me emotionally. And I did the whole scene. It was a long scene of me bawling my eyes out, and I was so scared that I would have to do it again. And we finished it, and I'm like, nope, that's all good. We can move on. I'm like, oh. But that's the thing. You got to be able to act behind that microphone. Rob Paulson nails it.
Yeah. Love Rob. He's the greatest.
Yeah, absolutely. Giving. That man gives
so much.
He has no idea how much he's given.
Oh, no. Here's the thing. He does. He knows. And the thing is that he's so humble that he'll never admit it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. Okay, friend of mine, Grant Schmidt, fellow voice actor, he did a full-on 1 hour lesson with him, and Grant is just so thankful for that because it really pushed him in a great direction. And he shared a bonding moment with him too. Like they were able to, have fun while they're doing this. Rob is so yeah. And what he doesn't understand is I got to watch that and I got to learn.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Hey, Raphael. Yeah, that's right. The original Raphael of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just saw Shredder the other day. And you know what he was listening to? The Distance Nerding podcast. I was going to kick the hell out of him, but because he's got taste in podcasts, I let him slide this time. So do yourself a favor. Listen to the Distance Nerding podcast. Have yourself a hot fudge marshmallow tuna fish and Doritos pizza and turtle power.
Love it, Rob. Oh my goodness, that's great.
Hey, Gad. Hello, Pinky here, the really genius half of Pinky and the Brain. When Brain and I are planning to take over the world, the only podcast Brain allows me to listen to is the Distance Nerding podcast. So, listen, or Brain will bop you on the head.
Nerf.
Oh, that's fantastic.
He did 5 of those. So he did
That's so wonderful.
Yeah, he did Yakko Warner, he did Pinky, he did Carl Weezer, Raphael, and Donatello, because he played Donatello in the more recent iteration of the Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Yeah, so like just again, Rob, and he did those on his own. He was just like, you want me to do some taglines? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Again, I didn't even know he did that for you, but I knew he gave.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, his giving nature. I went and poured my heart out to the man and told him that you between him and Kevin Smith, you guys are like my inspiration for like podcasting and wanting to do things creative and go on my own path and all that. And we mentioned podcasting to him. I didn't ask him, hey, do you want to come on the show? He goes, he's being gracious and he's just saying like, I appreciate you telling me this and taking the time out of your day to tell me that. And then he goes, hey, you want me to come on the podcast? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, cool. I can't today, but tomorrow, we can try and find some time. I mean, I've got like an hour for my lunch break, and we can do it on the during my lunch break if you want to do that. And he comes
fantastic.
He comes up during his lunch break, and we end up doing an hour interview, and I had to like get him back to the floor, but it was just like, he was the man is amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I got a really cool story for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm part of the Society of Voice Arts and Sciences as a juror. Every year they put out the Voice Arts Awards. I help judge various categories that they send me. I'm one of hundreds of judges because they have got so many different categories. They need more judges every year. And I've been doing it for this 2025 will be my 10th year. So I'm really excited about it. The co-founders are Joan Baker and Rudy Gaskins. And many years ago, they were giving out a Icon Award to the sadly recently deceased James Earl Jones. And Rudy was telling me a story about George Lucas. And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. It shows you, like, we put all these people on pedestals, but they're really human beings that are just willing to give.
Right.
So Rudy's like, yeah, so George is going to present this award to James Earl Jones or to Mark Hamill or what at the time, I forget who it was. So Rudy is talking to him and George is just asking, oh, what do you want me to say? And Rudy's like, whatever you want. You're George Lucas. Yeah, he goes, oh, okay. Very humble, very down to earth.
I've met George a few times. He's a great guy too.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess I want to tell him like how he inspired me to create, how I learned about the creative process from him at 7 years old.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's so far that I've met I have not been disappointed by my heroes yet. Right.
Yeah.
Because again, I've got stories about Kevin Smith and like how much he inspired me. And when I got a chance to tell him that, he cried. Right. It's not hard to get Kevin Smith to cry. It's very known that it's not hard.
He's an emotional person. Just quit. Don't bash the guy for being emotional about things that he cares about.
Oh, I'm not.
I'm talking about everybody else out there that I've seen. Not you. I'm talking about everybody else. Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm making the joke
that
he
there
made.
in the trenches. You create what he did. He came to Vancouver for 6 months to learn the basics, and now look where he is.
Yeah. No, Kevin again, awesome guy. And Mark Ham was my last bucket list guy. So
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah. So again, we got into a whole tangent here, man. I'm gonna ask you another difficult question here. All right. Who would win the fight? Aristar or Angela from Spawn?
In terms of
just in a fight, if they just got in a fight.
Ooh.
Full powers.
Oh. So I've got 3 stages of Aristar. So, So for the first stage that you meet her at, no, Angela would kick her butt, no problem. But at the end of the first arc, when she is actually tapped into all the mana on Earth, Aristar would kick her butt.
Nice. All right. So what's next for you? Do you got any shows coming up? Anything that you want to promote right now that you want to get out there for the audience?
Well, we're going to be launching the Indiegogo campaign for the second issue very soon. Very soon. Hopefully before the end of February. I just got to do some fine tweaking to the second issue and get my wife's second issue ready, and we might be putting that as part of the surprise into that particular one. If you go to elpmerch.com, you scroll down, you will see a link to the Indiegogo site where you can sign up and get put into a draw with your email address. Sign up with your email address, you get put into a draw for our $250 Canadian gift card to purchase items at the store.
So what's that like $20 American? Just
well, at the current exchange rate, we're looking at about 180 USD.
180. No, I kind of figured it was something around there. It's just again low-hanging fruit, easy jokes to make.
Yeah, exactly. And we Canadians, we can take it. We're good that way.
Yeah.
Oh, the funny Canadian joke. Driving through the United States in 2023, pulled over into a gas station. They kind of notice that I'm Canadian. Oh, you're not from around here. Oh, I'm Canadian. Oh, aren't you guys really, you're really friendly? I'm like, no, not to each other.
Canada has gift cards?
Just to Canada. You just go to Canada.
Canada has gift cards, but they only work in Canada.
In Canadian currency. Yeah, that's it. But we're excited for this is for the second issue. So if you don't have the first issue, well, you'll have an option to get the first issue along with the second issue and some other surprises.
Nice. James, just for you, they only give you gift cards, but they only pay you in loonies and toonies. Oh, God. All right.
I love our loonies.
Right. So where can everybody follow you? Where can they learn more about you if they want to follow more? Obviously, you just mentioned elpmerch.com, but where are other places where anybody can follow you if they want to kind of keep up with the Mana Chronicles or just Ian Fults in general?
Well, Facebook, obviously, you should look up for my name. You'll see Ian Fults, and then there'll be a little bracket, Laser Man. And then, of course, on Facebook, we have the Mana Chronicles page. We have the Electric Lips Comics page. So if you can go there, follow those. Where anything that I post related to either Mana Chronicles or Electric Lips Comics, I post under there and share to the audiences so they can be up to date on what's going on.
Amazing, man. I 100% enjoyed my read of the Mana Chronicles. I believe that everybody here who is watching this in the future or is watching this now, you guys should check out Mana Chronicles. It is a fun story. Again, the way that I wrote it earlier, I would say it is a fish out of water story that feels like it's a combination of the Masters of the Universe movie, Fifth Element, and National Treasure all mixed into one.
Oh, nice compliments. Except for the Fifth Element. That's my most hated movie of all time.
Really?
Yep. Hate that movie. Hate it.
It's because Captain Planet didn't come out at the end.
No. I'll try and be as quick as possible on this one. 1997, May, it comes out. I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba as a member of the Canadian Armed Forces helping to stop the Red River flood. We were told by our commanders to walk around the city in our combat uniform. And we're like, what? When I have our 24 hours off, I'm supposed to walk around my combat uniform? What's going on? The movie comes out. you know what? I have my 24 hours off. I'm going to go to the downtown Winnipeg. I'm going to go watch the Fifth Element. I walk into the theater. No, go on in. What? I go to the popcorn. No, here's your popcorn and drink. See ya. What? The reason why they had us wearing the combat uniform because they wanted it so they know who you are, and the people of Winnipeg were giving us stuff.
Oh wow.
Prevent the Red River flood from taking out their city. Yeah. So I go and sit. So I'm going to see this movie for free with free popcorn and pop. And by the end of the movie, I'm like, why do I hate this thing so much? I didn't understand it. I'm like, but this had everything I would like. Why am I hating this?
Yeah, it's
So
like it's an amazing
my
sci-fi.
detachment commander, and he's just like, well, you got to see this again, Ian. And then there's no, you're wrong. You're wrong. So we go and watch it, and that's when I start figuring it out. An anorexic supermodel is apparently the supreme being who beats the living crap out of a bunch of aliens in the intergalactic war of good versus evil, but then cries out what she finds out what the definition of war is. And I'm like, this is stupid.
But see, like that's kind of where I picked up on like my feeling on Fifth Element is because she gets kind of thrust into this world. I'm talking about Aristar gets thrust into this world, and she learns by just watching TV, which is kind of how she learns in Fifth Element.
Exactly. Exactly. But I put a slight little twist on it. It's only Turner Classic Movies.
Ted Turner, you win again.
That's right. So yeah, because you notice an issue
he's my
too,
Captain
when he comes
Planet.
out of the bedroom, you see Casablanca in the background.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, again, just kind of like throwing those things together because those were the things that it reminded me of the most, right? Was
right.
The kind of like feeling of, picture, like putting clues together and finding all the things. National Treasure, Fifth Element, obviously, I just explained that right there. Everything about it feels like Masters of the Universe. So it's like,
it's going to get more creepy. Like, for example, like you see her in the second issue, she's got very broken English.
Right.
Right. But in the third issue, she'll be speaking normally because by then she'll have had enough exposure. Right. And then as it progresses, but the cool thing is going to be the big confrontation in issue 4 between the Lich, who is on one side of the planet, and her. They're going to be finally meeting together in Iceland.
Right. Actually, I'm going to do a follow-up to that fight question. And I'm sure this is probably something that already like came to mind, but the Lich versus Skeletor.
Oh.
And to include every version of Skeletor, so we're talking Ultimate Skeletor too.
Ooh. No, he would definitely lose against Ultimate Skeletor, no problem. No problem there. The thing is with the Liches, you can't destroy him unless you know two things. Where his philanthropy is and his real name. You can have his philanthropy all you want, but if you don't know his real name, you can't destroy his philanthropy.
Right.
So
okay, that makes sense.
But the Ultimate Skeletor, he could almost do time travel with that form. So yeah, he'd be able to destroy the Lich.
Yeah, I mean, technically, because he is a sorcerer,
right,
and everything like that, and he's kind of the same way. Like he can. I mean, he's died multiple times within the series and the comics, and he always comes back because his spirit gets stuck in the staff, and then you can always somebody who can use magic to bring him back. So it's
exactly. And same thing with the Lich, except for that one little weakness.
Right.
Yeah, that's good to know because that just means further down the line, once we get closer, like further down into the books, I know it's going to play into something. So I'm definitely.
Big time. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Ian, thank you so much for coming on the show, man, and hanging out with us on this afternoon.
I absolutely, and again, I am so grateful for doing this, especially on a Sunday when, oh gosh, one of those great football games is about to start in 4 minutes.
Yeah. Actually, I have to go drive my wife to go get her car. And I'm a football fan, so it's like, well, guys,
go Bills.
Go Bills. Thank you so much, man. Before we get going and we get this dance party going, of course, Graveyard, please give everybody out there your pluggable, sir.
Yes, I am Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night, Mostly podcast.
They mostly
Pod.
at night. Mostly.
Find all new episodes every Thursday at 9 p.m. Make sure to check out Conversations in the Void every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central over on YouTube. Follow us on all social media at Pod Out at Night. And join our Twitch stream where I play all spoopy games all the time, except Saturdays where it's casual.
It's casual Saturdays.
Casual Saturdays. Yeah, I'm playing Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am. I'm your boy, Young Phil, Distance Nerding here. Of course, you can connect with us on all the social media platforms. If it exists, we are there. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we're never calling it X, Twitch, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, MySpace, Vine, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and mandals, the beard, and John Mez's glasses, just judging you for not buying all of the merch on our merch store. And of course, you have everything that Shidu will do for money. If you want to know what a 3-penny opera is, go and hang out with Shidu and give him those 3 pennies. And he will give you that hand job. I mean, a 3-penny opera. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you would like us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, pet, schoolyard bully, annoying neighbor, or just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would consume us completely and spit us out at the feet of Skeletor himself while sucking up the Hordak. Because as you would. She said, stretch it. I'm not home yet to be part of the stream. Of course, you can send us an email at dist. Where's my button?
Never can find the button.
Found the button. Dist.
The button. This is nerding.
Nerding at AOL.com, and we will read the email live on air. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. It is now time for the dance party. Now, of course, after this, guys, head over to DeLong Family Cosplay and hang out with them. They're going to be repairing any cosplays that they need to repair and just kind of getting ready for the next season of Comic-Cons that they're going to be getting ready to go to. So it's a whole lot.
Cosplayers rule.
Exactly, right. It's a whole lot of fun with them, guys. DeLong Family Cosplay, always a good time.
Yeah, you did not warn Ian about the dance party, did you?
I did not. And I did that.
I'm good to go. Let's do this.
I did that intentionally. So it is now time for the dance party. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this going.
We'll just grab something by you, Ian, and you make it dance on screen.
He's going to make himself dance. Look at this.
Oh, 8-bit, baby.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing up the Canadian treasure.
Distance nerding.
Tara Strong, baby.
Fun fact, the studio that originally did Hello Kitty is also Canadian.
Tara Strong,
Really?
great Canadian voice actress.
Another great Canadian. And another great Canadian. Ah!
Ooh.
2 Canadians and a guy from Ohio.
Close enough.
We'll see everybody on Tuesday. Actually, no, we'll see everybody tomorrow because I'm doing a game stream. Yay!